Hello there. If you've ever looked out at your shady porch or that little spot under the big tree in your yard and just sighed, thinking you couldn't grow your own food, well, this is for you. So many of us have been told you need a big, sunny plot for a garden, but that's just not true. I want to tell you about a woman I heard about. She's 67, lives in Ohio, and her backyard is almost completely shaded by two giant oak trees. Every single person she talked to, every gardener told her the same thing: just give up. But you know what? She didn't. And today, she's pulling fresh food from that very yard. What she learned is exactly what we're going to talk about today. So if you've got a covered porch, a patio that faces north, or just a small yard that sees more shade than sun, you are in the right place. This is for all of us who have those imperfect but very real gardening spaces. Okay, let's dive right in, shall we? We're going to start with 5 classic vegetables that, believe it or not, actually do better with a little bit of shade. First on our list is lettuce. Honestly, this might be the most forgiving plant you can possibly grow in low light. And there's just nothing quite like stepping out your own door to snip a few fresh leaves for your dinner salad, is there? And here's the little secret about lettuce: it actually likes the shade. Too much hot sun causes it to do something called bolting. That's when it shoots up a flower stalk and the leaves turn bitter almost overnight. Growing it in a cooler, shady spot keeps it sweet and tender for so much longer. It's just perfect for a pot on the porch. All right, number 2 is spinach. It's just an absolute powerhouse of good nutrition, isn't it? It's so wonderful in your scrambled eggs in the morning, on a sandwich for lunch, or just wilted into a warm soup for supper. And the best part? It's a cut-and-come-again plant. That just means you snip off the outer leaves whenever you need them, and the plant just keeps making new ones from the center. You get a steady supply of fresh spinach all season long. It's a true low-effort win. Coming in at number 3 is kale. Now, I know, kale got so much hype for a while there. But the honest truth is, it's one of the easiest, most productive leafy greens you can possibly grow in a shady spot. Just a couple of plants can keep a family in greens for months. I'm not kidding. And if you've never made kale chips in the oven, they are so simple. And it's a wonderfully healthy little snack that even the grandkids seem to really love. Okay, at number 4, we have Swiss chard. This is such a beautiful vegetable, and so many people walk right past it. And it's a shame, really, because it's just incredibly productive in the garden. The stems come in all these beautiful colors: yellows, pinks, reds. They just look gorgeous in a garden bed or even just a big pot. But the most important thing is that it just keeps giving. You trim off what you need for dinner, and it just keeps growing back. A vegetable that you don't have to replant every few weeks? Well, that's exactly what most of us are looking for, isn't it? And number 5 on our first list, radishes. These are just so satisfying to grow because they are wonderfully, wonderfully fast. Sometimes you can go from putting a seed in the soil to harvesting in as little as 3 weeks. And that little bit of shade actually helps them grow a better, milder root. There's nothing better than pulling one out of the ground, washing it off, slicing it thin, and eating it with a little butter and salt, just the way our parents and grandparents used to do. All right, how are we doing? That was our first 5. Now let's move on to 5 more that, well, you might not have expected you could grow in a shady spot. Number 6 is peas, a true American garden classic. Is there any better feeling than picking a sweet sugar snap pea right off the vine and eating it right there in the garden? I don't think so. The thing about peas is they really don't like that hot, intense afternoon sun. They love gentle morning light or that kind of dappled shade you get under a tall tree. They're wonderful in a stir-fry or a summer pasta salad, and they just need a little trellis or fence to climb on. Number 7 is arugula. This one has that wonderful, peppery little kick to it that really livens up a salad. I like to call it a gourmet green, but it's just so surprisingly easy to grow right at home. And here again, shade is your best friend. Full, hot sun makes arugula bolt and lose its flavor really fast. But if you keep it in a shady pot, it stays nice and tender for a much longer time. It's one of those plants that just makes you feel like a gourmet cook with almost no effort at all. Okay, number 8 is beets. For so many of us, especially if you grew up in the Midwest or down south, beets are just pure nostalgia. You think of roasted beets for Sunday dinner or a jar of pickled beets sitting in the pantry. Now, here's the wonderful 2-for-1 secret with beets. While that root is growing nice and slow under the ground, you can harvest the leafy green tops all season long. You just cook them up like you would spinach or Swiss chard. There's just a deep satisfaction in growing a vegetable that's so rooted in American home cooking. Now, this next one genuinely surprised me when I first found out, and I think it is going to surprise you too. It's green onions. Some people call them scallions. They might just be the most practical, low-maintenance, high-reward vegetable you can possibly grow. They need very little light and very little space. You could grow these in a little pot on a windowsill. And the best part is, you just snip off what you need and they keep regrowing. Think of all the uses, sprinkled on a baked potato, in soups, in your morning eggs. This is the plant that proves anyone, no matter what space you have, can grow some of their own food. And finally, number 10 is mint. Now, I know it's an herb, but it absolutely earns its spot on this list. It's beloved, it's so useful, and it actually prefers the shade. Mint is just perfect for a tall glass of iced tea on a warm afternoon, isn't it? But listen, here's the most important tip I can give you. Just like if we were standing in the garden together. Always, always grow your mint in a container. If you put it in the ground, it will happily take over your entire yard. It's a wonderful plant, but you've got to keep it contained.
So, there you have it. 10 wonderful, useful plants that don't just put up with shade, they often do much better in it. Let's just quickly bring them all together.
Here they are, all in one place. Lettuce, spinach, kale, Swiss chard, radishes. Then you have peas, arugula, beets, green onions, and of course mint. That is an amazing amount of fresh food you can grow, right in the space you already have. Just remember, you don't need a perfect sunny yard. Gardening, especially at this stage of our lives, is really about the simple pleasure and the satisfaction that comes from growing something with your own two hands. So which one are you thinking about trying first? If you found this helpful, I'd be so grateful if you just give it a little thumbs up. It really does help more folks find it. And please subscribe so you don't miss what we have coming up next. I would truly love to read your answer to that question on the screen down in the comments. Until next time, keep on growing.